Hello everyone. Hello Kevin. I'm so
Hi, Maddie.
excited to have you today. How is everything?
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. Very glad that we do that podcast together. Doing well. What about you?
I'm super fine in the south of France at the moment, so we are not that far from each other, actually.
No, we are not.
But too far to get this podcast in the real world. So we decided to do it this way, and it works as well because we have so many things to talk about.
Yes.
And for those who don't know you, you are actually part of the CocoSpark team. We tried to have the background for you, but it didn't work for any reason. So we said like, okay, the most important is like what we are going to talk about and not that much like the behind the scene of all of that. So for those who are watching the video, you can see actually Kevin's office in the background.
Yes, exactly. That's the real one. It's where the magic happens.
Where the magic happens. So can you maybe introduce yourself for those who don't know you yet?
Sure. So my name is Kevin. I'm a former visual effect artist. I used to work for very famous visual effect companies around the world. I've done my studies in Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School, then moved to Montreal, then worked in London, then worked in Singapore. And I'm a wedding filmmaker, and you know it as we work together from time to time. But I'm also an AI artist, and I've been actually developing different ways and workflows to work with AI for the past few years already. And that's something I would love to share. And that's something I would love to talk about because AI is actually getting to be a big part of our world, whether we like it or not, either for brands, for personal interaction, for absolutely every aspect of our world. So yeah, we have to be conscious of that and start talking about it.
That's very interesting. This is also why you joined the team, the CocoSpark team, because I really wanted that my clients actually to have access to the best of the best, to be able to create some content for their brands. And because the market is definitely shifting, and this is something that I really wanted to talk about with you, because there is something that you know and I know because of our first job, which is like in the wedding industry, but more importantly, photographer and videographers.
Yes.
And we see the rest of our colleagues like starting to struggle, and the industry of images is completely shifting. So this is the first thing I wanted to talk about with you, which is basically, I think in the wedding, you tell me what you think, but I think in the wedding industry, it's still okay because we basically capture the things the way they happen.
Yes.
So you have to be there and you have to have a technical eye on something emotional. So at the moment, we still not yet have robots coming with cameras and turning around, you know. But like I'm laughing now, but you know, maybe in 5 or 10 years we'll be like, you remember when you
It's no, you're totally right. We are lucky enough to work in a field where people will still want to have that human connection, and they will still be living real moments that AI cannot reproduce. There is still a gap between what we can generate and what can be integrated as real. Of course, we can still use AI to generate visuals that are very interesting for our films or for photography, for you guys, for photographers. It's a great way actually to fasten the process of editing and things like that. It's very important, especially when you have something that is wrong in the picture, like you have, I don't know, like the ankle in the back, you know, with the phone, like on the best picture ever you have of the ceremony exit. Now with AI, it's very easy. You just select it, you say, remove that guy, and he's gone. So there are real cases used that are absolutely great. And it's very important to be aware of that because you can save a ton of time. And it's the same for us in video. It's not as easy. There are a lot of tools that are coming, that are available, that are a great way to improve your story or to maybe include like a few snippets of things you didn't have the time to capture, because it could work that way. And I'm actually working on the teaser of a wedding I shot last weekend in Budapest. And I had some ideas that I wanted to do, but we didn't have the time, nor the costumes actually, because the bride wanted something very specific. I created the thing with AI and I think it works brilliantly. So it's a nice way to be creative, but at the same time, you still get the vibe of the wedding. You still get like 97% of the wedding that is real, but you have those two sequences in there that are not real ones that blends perfectly. And it's a great way to tell stories because as an artist, it's opening a whole new world. It's incredible.
I love it because at the end of the day, when you think about it, in this specific field, you think like AI is actually all there to help you for the editing part, like to make it a bit better or to be more creative, to add in your creativity, but never yet, not yet ready to replace the entire process, which is so far so good. You know?
Yeah, yeah, no, and honestly, even if the technology is getting there pretty quickly and pretty soon is going to be actually a part of the real world. And actually, I have some real world examples that are coming that I just read today, and it's not for the image side, but it's something different. I will tell you about. It's absolutely crazy. I think people will still want to have a real connection with the photographer, with the videographer. I got the message from the bride yesterday, and she was so happy. She said, "Thank you so much for everything you did. You make me feel comfortable, even during the stress situation and things like that." So a robot cannot replace that. Never. Yes, it might eventually at some point capture great images. Why not? But the human connection for those moments that are very, very unique moments, I think people are not ready to replace that anytime soon.
Well, this is for the wedding industry in particular because this is where
Yes.
we come from. But for the rest of the industries, in the image, like something I keep talking about is like fashion, product photographers, and things like that. It's like when you see how easy it is now when you have like a few basics or you have someone like you that you work with and you just like, oh, I need this visual for tomorrow with like a camel in the background and a sunset and everything. Like if you had to do it in real life, it would be impossible, basically. But now everything is possible. So I guess
Exactly.
most of the brands are going to shift very quickly. So what about the future of these jobs? How to be different if you are in these industries? And it's not only about photographers because like it's
So it's everywhere.
dominating, like it's model, makeup artists, like all the people who are actually gravitating around these industries are in a difficult position at the moment.
Yes, a lot of industry are going to be in trouble. And it already started. A few studios that I used to work for as visual effect artists drastically reduced the number of people working in the studio because they get less jobs for visual effect as there are smaller companies that are actually getting built up from the ground and with very talented people. And uh, I don't know if you remember, I talked to you about a project that I had, that I still have, about a TV show that I would like to create. And I'm creating entirely by myself. The characters, the decor, the dialogues, the music. It's something that a whole production team was needed to do before, even just to create a simple teaser, because it's only a teaser for now. But yes, it took me months to prepare because I have other things to do, obviously, and I'm just doing this on my spare time. But honestly, if you have a team of 5 people today, in 3 days, you can be done with everything I've done in a few months.
It's insane.
Before
So
that, before that, you needed actors, sets, production team, pre-production team, post-production team. You needed a whole crew just to create those visuals and to maintain the same skills and quality throughout the entire editing. Now it's not the case anymore. It's completely shifting. A lot of brands started to using AI for campaigns, either for photo or video. A lot of them, and that's something I think we'll talk about later on, are still against AI, but they are using it internally already. So there's a long debate with this, but yeah, a lot of things are going to change, and especially in the visual effect world. And I keep warning my friends actually who still work in the VFX industry, guys, you have to learn AI. Whether you like it or not, it's going to change your job. It's going to change the way the company work for films. It's simple mathematics. A studio comes to you and say, okay, I have a 50 million budget for a movie, and you have another studio who can create probably 90% of the work for maybe 5 million. You pick the 5 million, you just add 5 million more to the other one to polish the things that need to be polished. And with 10 million, you have your movie out. So the studio just say 40 million. It's a very basic example, but that's the way it's going to work. And instead of having I don't know, I think I worked on the Steven Spielberg movie Ready Player One for a year and a half. So it was at Lucasfilm. The Lucasfilm branch from Vancouver, San Francisco, London, and Singapore worked all together on that movie for about 2 years. That was, if I remember correct, I think more than 500 people. And it took that much time. It's not even like you don't even have to realize that studios are going to change the way they work. I mean, it's there, it's already there. You have movies coming like almost every day is on X, on Twitter, whatever platform. People are creating, and people who never had the chance to create before because they didn't have the access to the technology. They didn't have the budget to do it. Now, everybody with great ideas can create absolutely amazing stuff for, it's not even a tenth of the cost. It's much lower than this. So it's very, very interesting, but at the same time, it's threatening a lot of people, and people will have to adapt. You were talking about makeup artists. Makeup artists, the same thing. They will have to work around AI to actually show the bride what she could look like with that makeup or that makeup before even doing the try-on, because the bride will want to know what ideas you have in mind. If you are a floral designer, for example, most of the brides now are sending you like Pinterest with 40, 50 images telling you, hey, I want exactly this, but I want this different. And you're like, okay, you have to create things and you have to be pro-efficient before even signing a contract most of the time, which is very, very complicated to actually work with, because some planners will do it, some planners won't. And it's a tough subject, like whether you should start working a little bit on it or not before. But if you don't and some others do, you might lose the job because of that.
And this is only like what you are talking about is just when it's about trying to sell your service.
Exactly.
But when it's your service is actually the thing that can be replaced by AI. Like you were talking about makeup artists, but as you said, on a fashion photo shoot, we don't need the makeup artist anymore. So this is just so I don't know you. I'm personally a bit like mixed emotions about what's happening because I feel like it's like
Yes,
internet, it's happening. So the wave is coming, you just learn how to surf or you die.
exactly.
So, and this is something like we live in a country, we are from a country because I don't live there anymore, but we live in a country where we are used to complain instead of trying to find solutions, which is like what I hear a lot around,
It's true.
but which is
Totally
basically
true.
is replacing jobs, blah, blah, shame, shame, shame. Okay, guys, so what?
Yeah,
The thing
exactly.
is, there's a moment when it's happening, you like it or you don't, but the fact is that it's happening. So the only way to survive is not to stay there and complain and cry in a corner, but it's actually to find solutions and to try to see how it can be useful for you in a way. So it's happening anyway. I definitely don't believe in the fact that it's going to replace everything and nobody's going to have jobs tomorrow and all of that. It's just the world is going to be different. The same way
Yes,
internet has had a huge impact on everybody's
exactly.
life.
Exactly. And it's exactly what it's happening right now. The comparison with internet that's exactly it. You are coming from the phone with the phone that you had the dial on, call your grandma, and it was costing you a lot of money because she was living in another department actually. In a few years, all of this just disappeared and the whole entire industry collapsed, but a new one emerged. So either you actually grow up and you emerge with what's coming up, or you die. It's as simple as that. So you will have to adapt. The only difference, I think, is that you have to adapt much quicker than the previous generations had to do, which is for me a big, big, big problem, as a lot of people will stay behind because they don't have the time. They don't have the time. They don't
Yeah,
have
but
the energy.
it's a transition. It's a transition generation. I mean, I always say like our generation, millennials, we are because the
Yeah,
thing like, we grew up with this idea of like just go to school, go graduation, job, and you're fine for the rest of your life. And then
yeah,
the entire world mixed up, like everything just collapsed and changed, and we were
exactly.
ready for it. So I think the new generation is fine. They grew up with internet. They know everything about like having to adapt themselves. I think they'll be
Yes.
fine. But
Yeah.
our generation is the most damaged, if I can say that, which is like we were told that it was going to be fine and easy.
Yeah,
What
and we
happened?
made everything by the rules, so to make it work, and because it used to be like that, and even with the changes of internet, like we still managed to adapt because the transition like took a bit of time before going everywhere. Now AI is
Yeah,
absolutely going everywhere at a pace that we have no idea. It is getting so good that, for example, Claude.
yeah, of course.
You know Claude very well. Claude released Fable 5 a few
Yeah.
days ago.
And it's been cancelled immediately.
3 days after, the US government just sent a letter and said, hey, you know what? This is too dangerous. This is too powerful. You shut it down for absolutely everyone.
So I'm not sure about the reality of what happened, because, if there is money on the table, you know how it is, they would be more than happy to accept it. So I'm pretty sure there is many, many other stories behind it. But at the end of the day, I like the idea of having people saying like, this is too much, like to be a barrier or something.
Yeah. But they are
That's
still
maybe
using
not a
it.
bad thing.
I mean, they
Huh?
are still using it internally. The
Yeah, of course.
government still have access to it. I mean, officially they don't, because it says like even the official people working for the government don't have access to it anymore, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it
Anyway,
at all. But yeah, I mean, it's just to tell you, like in about 2 years, we went from ChatGPT version maybe 2 and asking very basic question, and it was hallucinating most of the time, to Fable 5 that is able to create things that are absolutely amazing from one prompt.
mm,
So yeah,
interesting.
it's
Yeah.
it's evolving at a pace that we have no idea. And I read this morning when I woke up the news that happened yesterday. Midjourney, the company that creates it was one of the first company actually to let you generate images directly on the web. I mean, first in Discord, but let's say not locally on the computer. This company just posted something out of nowhere yesterday. Like, I had to read the news twice because I was like, is this Midjourney posting this? And yes, it's the case. They are releasing next year, at the end of next year, like some sort of medical spa service
Oh, I saw
where
it.
where you can actually get your entire body scan,
Yeah.
like a CT scan, in 60 seconds. And people are already complaining about it because it's not super high quality, blah, blah, blah. If you look at an MRI scan from the 80s when it actually got invented, you can see shit. Definitely. So the technology is there to evolve, and it's actually a real case of going from web-based service to actual health service in the real world. And that scan is going to cost, I think, a tenth of the cost of the MRI scanner right now. And the time for an MRI scan to be done entirely on your body takes about an hour and a half, and you get radiations, obviously, all the time. This is without radiations. It takes 60 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. If they manage to go where they want to be, it's going to change the health system
Yeah.
forever.
I
Because
love it.
they will be the first one, but there will be
Yeah,
thousands of others coming.
of course.
That's for sure.
Well, it's an endless topic, and we could have actually that type of podcast every morning, checking all the news, from yesterday or from the
Yeah.
previous night. But it's just definitely, it's an endless story. But the next question would be, because we work together for CocoSpark, and we work with one idea, which is we want to upgrade our clients to premium and luxury. And there is a kind of a big debate about that, like using AI images to promote luxury or not, etc., etc. And it's a question that I have a lot with my clients when we start talking about that. Like when some clients actually, for example, they sell products, and it's definitely easier for them to create images with AI than to organize a photo shoot, etc., etc. And most of them are like very open-minded about that and completely fine, because the result is just amazing. And some of them are more like, yeah, but I still want to organize real photo shoots on the side, just for like ethic kind of mindset thing, which I mean, there is no debate. It's very personal, etc. And I see a lot of brands not only luxury brands, but mainly people who have to justify a price, let's say, that they actually share now more and more behind the scenes of their real photo shoots, like saying, we do real photo shoots. And I was wondering, and I have my point of view on that, of course, but I wanted to know from someone from the inside, like you, you think it is something that just trying to justify and trying to share like, no, but look, we do real photo shoots. It's just something that's happening now because we are in a transition? Or is it something really that's going to be like the big difference now between luxury and mass market, that is going to be like the same way we still produce in a craftsmanship way, our product, then our images as well? Or is it going to be a mix between? I know you cannot predict anything, but how do you feel a trend?
It's a tough one because some brands are actually embracing this already, or in a different way. Some use CGI intensively, and if it's CGI, it's fine. If it's AI, it's not. The result is the same. But there is, like you said, that kind of ethics behind it that is there for some reason, but it's also because we are not used to it like enough. It's the next generation is going to grow up with AI. It's going to be there on absolutely every content they see on the web. Actually, I think that 50% now of the UGC videos that you see on YouTubes and things like that are already AI.
It's insane.
It's uh,
It's a
it's there. It's already there. And like, take the example of Jacquemus. Jacquemus, they have been doing brilliant, brilliant campaigns for quite a long time now, and they use CGI a lot. When you see their giant bags, like sailing on the sea or in Cannes, like, passing by, like if it's an ice cream
But they
car,
do it
like,
in a way that they actually don't pretend that it's real. So this is one
exactly,
way, I guess.
exactly. Exactly, but CGI works, and it's still a luxury brand, and they still have like that image of luxury product, but they use CGI in a very specific way. And I think when you are a brand, you will have to adapt to this and to work the same way with AI, because a lot of the brands, when they will realize that they can get the same result as CGI for a fraction of the cost, they will use AI. I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
Under Armour, actually, the brand for fitness, they just released, I think this week or 2 weeks ago, an advertising that was shot in a studio with real people, with actually real actors and real soccer players, but they added all the visual effects using AI. Why? Because they were able to deliver this in a fraction of the time that it would have needed to be done using visual effects. So yes, a lot of brands right now are still, trying not to touch it too much, but I think this barrier is going to disappear in the coming years. When they look at the numbers at the end of the year, and you're like, okay, we could have made like that many millions more if we were using AI, the result would have been the same.
Yeah,
They might
but
keep going for a
it's
year
a
or two, but that's it.
I think it's a complicated balance between the definition of luxury, which is taking the time to do things in a craftsmanship way, and the fact that we use a shortcut. And I think this is the whole complexity of using AI or not in the luxury industry.
Yeah,
But this is because now we are asking ourselves the question. We are at this specific moment when
exactly.
it's time to ask this question to ourselves. But as you said, I agree, and the future will let us know if we were right or not. But I agree that in a few years it won't even be a question anymore. It's just like
I think so.
just the way we shoot now. And maybe just a few kind of not marginal, but more craftsman, that it's something that is going to be maybe their label, or they are proud of it, like 100% made by humans.
Exactly.
So it's going to be
Exactly. And
of their identity more
and
than
you
just
can take a brand like a Dior, for example. Dior is used to make a lot of behind the scenes. Actually, if you look at their YouTube channel, they have a lot of behind the scenes, and you see the people working at the factory and taking care of all the details and things like that. this is going to stay because they sell
Agree.
craftsmanship, they sell knowledge, they sell something totally different than most of the fashion company will sell. They sell something very, very important, and they have been actually transmitting that knowledge for many generations, actually. I mean, not generations, but actually the generation of workers. And they are very proud about it. And I think they still want to show that it's still there. It's not because you embrace the future technologies that you have to erase the past. You will maintain the quality of work, you will maintain the knowledge, you will maintain the fact that you keep actually transmitting that to your employee because it's your core work and you're good at it and you're recognized worldwide because of this. But at the same time, you will still need to evolve on different aspects of the company. It doesn't have to be generative AI necessarily, like when it comes to transcript, when it comes to planning, when it comes to like analyzing budget or analyzing campaigns, like everything that is behind the scene that is not your identity as a brand, all this will be wiped out by AI, and that's for sure.
It's very interesting actually to see that. I'm working on the LVMH story with like the diploma at the moment and everything. Very interesting. And what's happening at the moment is the fact that they struggle a bit, to be honest. We all know like the story is a number that luxury industry, product industry is like, it's not the best years, let's say. And it's interesting to see that during years, all these old maisons, they were really closed-minded about new technologies, about like you maybe know that most of them, they went online very late, like they absolutely didn't want to sell online. They wanted the people to live the experience in stores, which I totally understand. But there is a moment when you keep fighting against technology and the future and the things the way they are, and it's something that luxury brands have to think about. And it's also something that we work together with our clients, which is AI is completely fine as long as it's done with elegance and it's done with respecting the identity and just being proud of using AI. Like the thing is, I feel like it's like every new technology. AI is a bad word when you talk about it in some specific fields, but it's
Yeah.
fine and very exciting when it's on other fields. So it's very interesting to see like how the things are going to evolve in the future.
Look, the transition between film photography and actual electronic photography that we do today.
But it's back now. Now it's back to analog again. It's
Yes,
trend,
but that transition between film and the one that is
the
seen
digital.
directly in the viewfinder, the hybrid one, that was again another step. And I mean, it's there to help you. It produces the same pictures as your previous camera. You don't have the hassle to work around like all those settings when you didn't see what you were shooting. Things evolve and
Yeah.
things keep evolving all the time, very, very, very fast, like I said. And I
But
know
it's
that
interesting to see how we actually, like for example, if now you have a look on a picture that you generated maybe 2 years ago, and even us, most of the time, we immediately know it's AI, Now it's evolving, then nobody is able to see the difference. But in
it's
two
very hard.
years, we'll get back to this picture that we are producing now, and we will be like, oh my God, is this so AI? So it's just so interesting to see that our eye actually get educated as well. And we will know step by step, like the different step of story. Is it the same thing with website? We just redid our entire website with Claude. I'm super proud of it. I love it. I'm sure
I've
in
seen it.
less than 2 years, it will be like, this is so Claude. There is a Claude signature everywhere. We have to redo everything. So this is the thing. It's also with this new technology as well. But it's just like, this is the way it is. You
No, no,
cannot.
no, of course. There is, I think, for the luxury brands, they have also that ethic side, about being eco-responsible and things like that, which is something that they have to consider because AI is consuming a lot of water to
Yeah, sure.
cooler down the servers. And we need more and more space to have those servers, which is also an issue. And it's funny because I just read again this morning, there is a company. Wait, I think I have this somewhere. Yes, you have a company that is called Pantalasa. that I never heard about. And they actually raised $140 million to create data centers that are floating on the ocean.
Yeah, I think I thought about it.
And they are
And some
going,
are under the ocean.
they have a part under, all the servers are down. You have the sort of up that is at the top, and it's using the movement of the ocean to create its own energy. And at the same time, you are using the ocean water to cool down the servers, which is super smart. The company is super new and the project is still, it's still a baby project. They have the concept and everything, but they already raised $140 million, and the valuation of the company is at 1 billion already. Nothing exists. Nothing exists.
It's just a project. Yeah.
It's just
But
a
this is the best
project, but it's super clever. It's super clever because suddenly the ethic aspect about the eco responsabilization is, eroding a little bit because you are going to use nature and its own element directly in its own environment.
You're gonna warm the water. You're gonna warm the water.
I don't think so. I don't think so because those data centers are not like that big.
Yeah, yet. But if one works and it makes money, then you can be sure that we'll have plenty of them in a few years. So it's just
That's
like
again a different thing. But I mean, from what I see from for the project, they are very small data centers that are very, very powerful. And the more advanced the technology comes, the smaller the chips, the smaller the computer. So you will need less and less of those structures, and is going to need less and less heat dissipation as well. So I think it's going to balance it out by itself very, very soon, but we'll see
how it goes. Yeah. I'm very, very curious. I'm trying really to follow all of these things and to stay up to date, even if I'm just a baby completely. But what is interesting also is just the fact that, for example, you are specialized in AI design. We are onboarding someone actually specialized in AI automation, which is something completely different. And that is like, can you imagine that inside our team, and we are just like 15, we already have 2 people about AI in a small structure like ours. So can you imagine, like, if you have like a huge company or something, like most of the people first have to be educated about that, and then you will have more and more people about AI. So that's very interesting, but even in luxury, as we said, and the thing is, like, if it's not to generate directly, it can be to do like the backup and all the behind the scenes and the
exactly
logistics save time. We
all the
already did
back office
yeah.
back office work that takes hours, that takes weeks, sometimes months. It's going to auto-generate like most of the document. Is going to give you summaries of the numbers of what's going on, of the situation of the company, things that people would take weeks to create. It's going to make that in a few minutes. Then you have someone to read it, go through the documents, just crisscross the references, and you'll be
It's
done.
insane. But even to generate like things, I already deleted my subscription with Canva. I already deleted my subscription with Zapier. I already deleted, like, there is so many softwares actually and SaaS that are going to suffer from it as well. But it's just like for the accounting, I just do literally a screenshot of my transaction and I put it in Claude, and there is a script, and that he has to dispatch all this information in different sheets on Notion for my accountant, and that's it. I love it. Everything that can make my life easier is always welcome. So I can't wait actually to share more about this new person onboarding soon. And I know you'll be the first to be like, with this person, that it's going to be an exciting future.
No,
Thank you so much,
it's so
Kevin. Is there
interesting.
anything else? If there is one piece of advice or like a last word you would like to share with the people who are listening, well, most of them are CEOs, founders, and they are trying to break the glass ceiling of luxury and premium. As an AI designer, what is the one thing that you could tell them, suggest, advice, or whatever?
Ooh, I wasn't ready for that one. I will say just try new things, get out of the box, think out of the box, really give the opportunity to all those tools that you have around to make your life easier, because it will make your life easier, definitely. And when you have more time, to do all the back office work or to do like many different things, you can be more creative. You can have more time for yourself, which is also super important nowadays because we are all connected at like literally every day of our lives. We have the phone in the hands and we have the, the speakers in the ears, and like we are interconnected all the time. If I have one piece of advice is take the time to step back, try the tools. If you don't know how to use the tools, form yourself, train yourself with people who knows the tools, and try different things for your company that you never think you will do, because at the end of the day, it might be very, very profitable.
And you are that type of person. Like this is something that actually our CocoSpark clients can enjoy with you. They can or have a mentoring with you directly inside of the CocoSpark strategy, or they can hire you as an AI designer directly to do the job.
Yes.
So this is something that we do with CocoSpark, which is, or we do it together. So you explain to them how to do it, you train them, or we do it for you. So you can just basically become their AI designer, which is the part of CocoSpark that I love, because we can basically like make your life easier or help you to do it yourself so you can make your life easier by yourself.
No,
So I love it.
definitely.
Thank you so much.
And we already started, and I think everyone is quite happy about it. The results are already there. Definitely go ahead, try new things, because it's going to change a lot of things for your business. So that's for
Thank you
sure.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It was amazing having you as usual. The thing is, we know each other. We've been knowing each other for a while, and I'm very happy to have him on board. And just between you and me, I'm very proud of all the people we have in the team in CocoSpark. And this is all this talent that you can actually have access to by being part of this CocoSpark ecosystem. So
yeah,
it's very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Thanks for having me on board. Always a pleasure.
On the contrary, we have a call soon for another client I have to talk about.
Okay, darling. Let's do that.
And guys, I see you very soon for the next podcast, of course. Bye bye.